Hi all, welcome to ServiceNow training by Learn Now. Today we are going to learn about business rules in ServiceNow. So, business rules is a server-side script that runs when a record is displayed, inserted, updated or deleted, or when a table is queried. Business rules are scripts that run when certain server-side script conditions are met. Business rule conditions include when to run a business rule in relation to a database operation, and what record operations the business rule applies to. So this is a basic definition of business rule. Let's explore the types of business rule. Before, after the user submits the form, but before any action is taken on the record in the database. Okay, let me give you an example here. You have a form, incident form. User populates this form, fill all the details, required fields, then submit the form. Whenever the user submits the form, the database, like the record is updated in the database. But before updating the record in the database, this BR will run. And whatever you have mentioned in the script or some conditions that you have applied, based on that condition, it will alter the details and then update in the database. After business rule, after the user submits the form and after any action is taken on the record in the database. The same example, on the incident form, user populate all the details, submits the form. The form details get updated in the database. After the database operation happens, then this after BR will run. This BR particularly used to update related records. Async BR. Third one is async BR. This BR works same as after BR, just it run asynchronously. It will give the user access to the form after submitting the form. After BR will wait till the database operation happens. Until then, users do not have the access to the form. But async BR will give you right away access, and the operations will happen once the queue is free. Display BR, before the form is presented to the user, just after the data is read from the database. So whenever the user opens an incident form, when the form loads, just before loading the form, this display BR will run. It will get some data from the database which is required or mentioned in the business rule. Let's see the order and sequence of these business rules, how they work. Moving to the next slide. Business rule processing flow. User or system query. So let us suppose a user go to an incident table. As soon as he or she open the list of the table, a BR query BR will runs. The BR will check if there are any existing BR on the incident table, or they contain any query BR on the incident table. Whatever the query mentioned there, that query will be applied, and then the list of incident will be appear in front of the user. After that, database query, display BR. Once the user open the form, display BR will run. Then the user submits the form, and before BR will run. After before BR, database operation happens. After database operation happens, after BR or async BR will run. So this is a general flow for business rules. Query first, then display, then before, and then after. Moving to the next slide, let's see what are the type of operations in ServiceNow BR. So there are major four record operations in business rule. Insert. Insert means whenever a user creates a new record and saves it into the database. Update, whenever a user modify the existing record. Query, whenever a user sends a query for the record of list to the database. And delete, whenever user deletes a record. So these are operations that we can perform in the using the before business rules. Some important pointers while using the BRs. Sometimes developers use current.update in business rules. So what are the consequences of this current.update and how to avoid it and what we can use to avoid this. So the update method trigger business rule to run on the same table for insert and update operations, leading to a business rule calling itself over and over again. So let me give an example here. You have an incident form. You modify one field, assignment group, let's suppose. You add current.update in your script. So what happens? First, whenever you save the form, the BR will run, set the assignment group as let's suppose hardware, saves in the database. As soon as it saves in the database, again the BR, like the flow, will check if there is any condition met. So the condition is meeting, the form updates with the assignment group hardware. So it will re-trigger the BR, like there is an update on the form, re-trigger it. Again the hardware sets to assignment group sets to hardware. Then it again checks, yes, there is a database operation, there is a change in field. Again run the same BR. So it will continuously in loop, like recursion, calling the BR again and again. So changes made in before business rule are automatically saved. So there is no need in before business rule to apply current.update. They are already being saved in the database without current.update. After business rules are best for updating the related record, not the current objects. As I told you, after business rules are used to update related records. When a recursive business rule is detected, s- like since some developers do not follow best practice or under some circumstances they need to use it, current.update. So there is ServiceNow by default functionality that it will stop the BR, recursive BR, and logs an error into the system. Current.update causes system performance. That's why ServiceNow has already created that functionality to stop the recursive BR. Okay, what are the precautions or alternative that you can use in place of current.update? So you can prevent recursive business rule by using set workflow with the method false parameter. So there is a method or glide API of ServiceNow set workflow, and by passing the parameter false, you can use this current.update in your BR. Combination of update and set workflow method is only recommended in special circumstances. Not every time you can use, but under special circumstances where where the normal before and after guidelines mentioned above do not meet the requirement. So this is all about the recursive or current.update in ServiceNow. Let's move to the business rule, how business rule work in scoped application. For the table that are in scope application and business rules, how these rules are limited. They do not provide you full access as they provide in a same application scope. Let's suppose you have two application scope, ITSM and CSM. These are module names, but I'm just referring them as a application. So you can create rules when is async. Like you can create an async business rule that will provide you with the functionality of insert, update, and delete database operations. But you cannot select query there. So basically, async will not allow you to query from one scope to different scope. Secondly, set field value actions and scripts you can use in async business rule under different scopes. The second business rule that you can use is before. So before will also allow you to insert, update, and delete database operation, but does not allow you to use query. Set field values action is only available in before. You cannot write script and you cannot abort the database transaction. Third is you cannot create any other type of business rule in different scopes. So this is the uh, limits of business rule in scope applications. When you have a business rule in different application and table or record in your different applications. So this is all about the business rules in major. But when we are going in a practical, we will discuss some more pointers of business rules in the upcoming videos. Thank you and subscribe my channel. Learn now.